Welcome to today's stream. I hope everything's good with you. I hope you have a nice start of the week. Let me quickly get my chat over here. Okay. I decided to work a bit more on my cookbook. I don't know if you have seen my cookbook. I created some time ago. I created a data engineering cookbook, and I want to add new stuff to the cookbook. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with is roadmaps for data analysts, for computer scientists, for database developers, and so on and so on. Because I get asked that all the time, and I think it's a very interesting topic and a very important topic. So, all right, first few people are coming in. Akif, hey, hello, Harun, hello, welcome everybody. Let me know if the audio is good, if you can hear me. I modified this here, so I hope this is louder. Last time it was very, very low. Hello, Bart. Welcome. I see 5 people on YouTube. So, hey YouTube, Rasmus, hello. Yeah, so let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so I don't know if you have seen it. When you go to my website, when you go to learndataengineering.com, let me make this a bit bigger, and you scroll down here, right? That's me here, hello, and then here's the Academy. And then further down, here's a button for Cookbook, right? And that's the Cookbook that I have on GitHub that is free to access. You can also download the older version, but the newest version is always on GitHub. And what I just did is, let me see, can I go over here? Yeah. What I just did is I updated this. So what I added here in the introduction page, I added here how to learn data engineering. Make this a bit bigger. How to learn data engineering, building blocks to learn data engineering, and the roadmap for data analysts. Roadmap for software developers and so on is coming soon. And I want to talk with you about this. The links to this I have also in the description of the live stream on YouTube and also on LinkedIn. And so what I was sitting on, let me show it to you. I was basically thinking about, okay, how could I organize this to make this a bit more or easier for people to get into, right? And maybe I download this. Let me quickly download this. And the idea with this is I made the distinction here between basically the fundamentals, how did I call this? Oh, sometimes I call this, blue is the basics, green is platform and pipeline fundamentals, yellow is the fundamental tools, and red are the hands-on, the full end-to-end hands-on projects. And Eka is here as well. Hey Eka, hello. We are going to release very, very soon, tomorrow, we're going to release the Relational Data Modeling 2 course. Eka worked really, really hard on this. We were talking about what to put in there, and then she went on and she created an awesome course for you. I counted it's 111 minutes of relational data modeling. So really, really cool. But that's just a side note. So the goal here is you have the basics, fundamental, again, how did I call this? The basics, platform and pipeline fundamentals, of course, with platform pipeline design, platform security, choosing data stores, data modeling, the basics with Python, and the course from Andrew from Data Science Infinity, Data Preparation and Cleaning for Machine Learning, Docker Fundamentals, Successful Job Application as more of a side note for this today. Then we have our fundamental tools, something like Airflow, Databricks, Kafka, MongoDB, Snowflake, DBT, and so on. And then we have the hands-on example projects on the cloud with AWS, Azure, GCP, warehouses and data lakes on AWS and GCP, a second AWS project, and so on and so on. And the important thing, basically how I built this up in the GitHub, is I want to show you how can you put this together to actually on the journey to become a data engineer from a data analyst, if you're coming from the data analyst side. Right? So again, in the description, you can check this out. It's like I have a ton of content in this, but it's a bit outdated. I want to make this newer and release new stuff in this. So for the next weeks, months, we're going to add new stuff there. Okay, so let me show you the roadmap, what I wanted to talk about today. So the idea with this that I had is, okay, how do we start with this, right? And my understanding is always you have different paths where people are coming from. As I said, data analysts, software developers, database developers, and so on and so on. And it doesn't make sense for everybody to do the same things, right? Because as an analyst, you have different knowledge already than a software developer. And for me, what I always tell my students is start with something that you know, that you understand, and then go from there. Right? So that's what I was thinking about with this. So what I would start, if I would come, okay, I'm a data analyst, I work at a company with data warehousing and with data that I need to prepare for reports and so on. Okay, what's the goal here? How would I start? And I would start not just going through the basics. I would start first with platform and pipeline design, or slowly, Andreas, with platform and pipeline fundamentals, right? How does a platform look? And then go from there. Okay, you already know warehousing. What is some popular things that you can learn, that you can expand on? Right? You could say, okay, I want to look at warehousing with BigQuery and want to look at the lakehouse part, for instance, on Snowflake or on GCP with BigQuery. And then you could directly dive into this because the setup is minimal. It's super easy to do. And you can immediately then use your knowledge that you already have, upload some data and work with the data. If you're going the Snowflake route, we already built a course on top of Snowflake with DBT, where you can then say, okay, I have a Snowflake warehouse or Snowflake data lakehouse. Let's transform the data. So if you took these two, you already have the opportunity to build on your knowledge on the cloud with popular tools. Then I would go into choosing data stores. Choosing data stores is that you understand, okay, which type of data stores are there? OLTP, transactional data stores, and OLAP, analytical data stores, right? And that also includes with OLTP, that includes the NoSQL stuff, that also includes the typical relational databases. So it's super important to understand these two things. Data modeling 1 that we already have is giving you then a bit of a insight. Okay, how is the data actually modeled in these all kinds of databases? The data modeling 2 that is coming out this week, that it's actually already live for all the subscribers, but that is more into relational data modeling and specifically for a MySQL database. But I'm going to talk about maybe tomorrow more about this. So this is when you say, okay, you could go the data modeling 1 course that gives you a bit more of an insight. Or you could say, okay, I want to directly go into something like a document store. I want to work something with MongoDB, right? Document store, MongoDB, super popular, super important. It's a good choice. So let's jump over the data modeling one, because relational and so on I don't need. And with warehouses, with dimensional modeling, I already know, right? So then you would jump into that. After that, I think, is the goal for you with Python. If you already have a bit of Python knowledge, or you should have minimal at least, then you should get more into, okay, how do data engineers transform the data? What kind of tools are they using? How are the techniques there? And for that, we have a Python for Data Engineers course. And with this, then you have a bit of data warehousing, you understand how platform works, you know how to model data and choose the right data store for this, and you understand how to use Python in a data engineering manner, right? Any questions so far? I don't see any questions. Like, if you have a question, put the questions in. Otherwise, I'm just going to go and going to continue with this here. It's not super big, but I just want, like I said, I wanted to show you this, and I want to build on top of this. So let me know your questions in the chat. Okay, well, I have a sip of my coffee. So from this point on, for me, now you're an analyst, you know how to handle data, you know how Python works, and you have gained a bit of Python experience. Now you can say, okay, now I'm jumping more towards the projects, towards the fundamental tools directory. And the direction, in the direction. So you could say, okay, I'm going to take the jump. I'm going to go and try out Azure. Build a streaming data pipeline in Azure that goes towards a NoSQL database, goes towards Cosmos DB, right? That's exactly what you've tried here. MongoDB, Cosmos DB would fit really well, because these are actually two tools. It's compatible, Cosmos DB and MongoDB, and then you have the streaming stuff there in Azure. Or you say, okay, I want to do a bit more towards relational data modeling. You could say, okay, now then jump into the GCP course. Do GCP, and actually I missed something here. I actually missed the modern data warehouses here. I wanted to put this here as well. So maybe I need to change this afterwards. So, and then because the GCP course that also Eka did the hands-on stuff on, that is a streaming and a batch pipeline for doing or for getting data into a relational database on GCP, where you set up the whole infrastructure, get data from an API, process it, send it through, and then it automatically lands in a relational database. Right? And afterwards, you could say, okay, I didn't put it here because I did the modern data warehouses before here in the beginning. And then you could say, okay, then the GCP part is done, or you put more effort into the GCP part, right? Because here is also Data Studio or Looker Studio is also included here. So, yeah, if you say, okay, Azure is not my thing, GCP is not my thing, then you also have now with the Python knowledge, and the thing is, you don't really need a lot of Python knowledge. Could just go into AWS, say, okay, you do the data engineering on AWS project. It's a huge project where you build a streaming pipeline with Kinesis and with Lambda functions and put it into DynamoDB, and where you set up Redshift and put the data with AWS Glue as a batch processing in the warehouse. Everything included in this, right? So this way you add on top of your warehousing knowledge, you understand how do I actually get the data in the warehouse, right? And then let's say you took this course here, or took this path, Snowflake, DBT, and then you went into AWS. It's like Wow, right? You already have some key knowledge there. AWS, modern data warehouses and data lakes. The AWS part, because this course actually has two parts, for GCP and for AWS. Then you could say, okay, let's go into Docker fundamentals here. You can also do this separately. Docker fundamentals. Let's work with machine learning and containerization on AWS. We have an example project for this. Right? Or Docker fundamentals and Docker. Then once you have Docker knowledge, that also opens you up more options to do fundamental tools on the platform. Right? You could say, okay, now I'm going into Spark fundamentals. Set up a Jupyter notebook with Spark, then work on Databricks, then learn Kafka, how to stream data and the fundamentals of APIs, and then build a end-to-end streaming project where you are streaming documents through and build a UI. Right? So these are some things how I would attack this, and the goal or the beginning here is stay simple, stay with what you know, and then make some decision and just follow this. Right? And we have, as you've seen, we have a lot of other courses as well in the academy. But I think this is a solid thing. Let's say you only go here until the AWS or the modern data warehouses, right? This thing, that's everything you need to know for starting and becoming a data engineer. Like for a junior, if you find a entry level position, or a position very close to data engineering, it's like that's amazing knowledge. And if you document this, you're ahead of almost everybody. Question: data engineer roles seem to be more demanding in terms of years of experience. How many years of experience would you recommend having before trying to do the switch? Immediately. Yes. Very often you find roles that are like pure data engineer roles, where in smaller companies or startups where people are demanding many years of experience. Look for larger companies. Look for jobs that maybe are not immediately called data engineer, like cloud platform engineer, platform developer, these kind of things. Because as a developer of a cloud platform, you also are working with data, you're working with tools, you're getting data in, you need to transform it, you need to implement the pipelines as well. Maybe smaller parts, maybe not the whole thing, but like this way you get an entry. I know data engineer is more of a or it's difficult to get into, especially right now. But if you take this small detour and not just search for data engineer jobs, but also for other jobs, maybe I'm going to make a list of, let me write this down somewhere. Notepad, list of job names for data engineering entry positions. Like these, that's the key here. And as I said, you're going to be very, very, if you do stuff like this here and you document this, we have a GitHub example in the academy, how to document each of these steps here. Each of these courses you can document. We have a documentation already. We have source codes already. If you would just do this, it would be really, really simple to be ahead of 90% of the people, because you have knowledge, you can show knowledge, you can talk about the knowledge. Like I personally, I don't understand why people don't do this more often. Right? It's like, why? I don't know. So search for it, search for other jobs, and also don't get discouraged if you are not accepted a few times. Search further. Focus a bit more on larger companies, not small startups and so on, because it's very difficult in small companies. They need to have you up and ready immediately, which most likely you are not going to be, right? Or you, as a beginner especially. Yeah. Ayrton here says has a good point here. For each data scientist, companies need many data engineers. At least, let's say at least one, right? Companies who are doing data science need engineering, because without engineering, there is no data science. Like, what do you expect? A scientist taking files and working with files and trying to create a live system that customers are working on with files? Like, that doesn't make any sense, right? Javier asks here, is this roadmap for data engineer or data analyst? This is a data engineering roadmap for analysts. For analysts who want to get into data engineering, right? I'm a data engineering guy. I can only tell you like how to get into data engineering. I'm not a specialist in data analyst. So that's the roadmap we're talking about today. Yeah, as said also here, roadmap. You can, again, check this out on the GitHub. The GitHub has many good information. Also the difference between a data scientist and the data engineer and so on. I'm from a different technological background. Can I jump into this after 10 years of experience? Like, I don't know exactly your background, but it's super easy. Let's take technology. Let's say you have worked on on-premise stuff. You've worked in a classical environment where you have Microsoft SQL servers, where you used some tools to process data, like, I don't know, Fivetran or typical tools. Did some development in Java. You can easily jump into this, because the only thing, one sec. The only thing that you need to make an effort is to focus on technology or on a platform, and then search for jobs in this direction. Right? That's the goal here. The Snowflake chapter includes Snowpark and Snowpipes. Snowpark we didn't. Snowpark we didn't. Snowpipes. Did I do Snowpipes in there? Whew, that's a good question. All courses. Snowflake for data engineers. Basic Snowflake account setup. There's goals. Snowflake database. Preparing the upload file using internal stages. Splitting data in tables. Visualization. Creating a dashboard. Create import test. Start pipeline. No, this was more working with stages and getting data from S3 here, for instance. So, no. How long before I can apply for a job, and how long should I prepare? I would say if you work every day on it, in 3 to 6 months, with a bit of like focus, I think is the right word, into this, and with grit to go through this and don't stop in the middle, and like have a bit of willpower, you should be able to 3 to 6 months. I think that's the goal. That's the goal that I aim for my students in the academy. There's far more that you can do in there than you need to become a data engineer. So, yeah. As an analyst, for instance, I think in 3, 4, 5 months should be able. If you, like I said, if you work every day on it, even faster. The main thing is to apply for jobs and not stop and not get frustrated. Do some projects, do the roadmap that I just shown for analysts, right? If you're an analyst, like take the first steps here, and then for instance go the GCP part, and then that's already very strong. Do some Docker fundamentals, or like select something else here from the academy, like Airflow, just for fun, or look a bit into Spark. I think with these things, you're very safe. You can definitely do it. Are projects in the academy close to real projects in the company? Of course, it's always difficult to make this like a real project in the company, because in the company you always have a lot of outside variables, and you very often struggle with the data in many different ways. What I've done with the academy, and what was important for me, was to make it as real world as possible, but have the data prepared for you, right? So that you don't struggle so much. So the data is usually quite clean in the academy. That doesn't mean, however, that you can be lazy. What I always recommend is like do the same thing that we did with one data set. Go to Kaggle, get a different data set, and then do this with a different data set through the course. Change up the code, change up the design of the data store or the modeling of your database, and learn. But making it as real world, I'm trying to make it as real world as possible. VJ is an academy member. Hey VJ, yeah. I hope this was helping you with how long to prepare. Look into the successful job application course, VJ. Look into the job application guide. Look into that. There is so much stuff in there that will get you ready and will get you to the point. Get in touch over Discord, and I can review your CV if you want. So yeah, you can do it. How to build the best portfolio? Yeah, Javier. That's what I mean. If you do these kind of things here, that is a very good portfolio. Document everything, document every project, every course that you did, add your thoughts to it, add what you have learned, add the things that you were struggling with and how you solved them, and then document this, put this into your everything into a separate Git repo, and then put the link to your Git repo in your CV. These are things that will help you greatly. Like, where can we find how to document the projects? Is it in one of the courses or in GitHub? I have this in a course. It's in our super secret GitHub of the academy. If you're in the academy, like VJ knows how secret this is. But in the academy I have videos with tips on how to document it, and also link to a GitHub template how to structure your GitHub and how to succeed in this. So again, if you want to check this out, you can find everything that we've talked to in the GitHub. I have the link to the GitHub in the description of this live stream, or go to learndataengineering.com, scroll completely down here, and here's the cookbook. Click access on GitHub, and then this will give you all the important things. And then here in basically if you just go to the README MD and scroll a bit down here, in the introduction chapter, there's how to learn data engineering. And if you click on this, you will get to exactly what we've talked about. Next, as I said, next will be here roadmap for software developers, and then I'm waiting for your suggestion. We can do many jobs here. And also let me know if something is wrong or if you feel like I made a mistake somewhere. Yeah. Vijay says, I'm looking and learning from your courses. Thanks so much for all what you're doing. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm doing my best, and I'm getting the best people to help me in this. Like I said, like Eka here. Check out Eka's profile on LinkedIn and follow her. She's doing a lot of cool things. And yeah. I'm a data analyst already working in Germany. Is there a special way of applying for data engineering roles in Germany? No. I don't know. I would say no. I don't know how many we have here in Germany. I have to admit, I haven't searched for German data engineering jobs lately. So I don't know how many there are. Right now, we Germans are a bit behind on the whole data science thing. I know we're talking a big talk, and we're showing off really cool things in trade fairs and so on. But like, it's very, very difficult in Germany. So maybe one of the larger cities like Munich, Berlin. I think also Hamburg has a lot of companies that have these things, or Stuttgart, where the whole automotive industry is. These are things I would look for. Any good books on data engineering for data modeling? How should I prepare? I receive employment calls mostly for data modelers only. Yeah, as I said, we have many things here. We have in the academy, we have courses for. Let me see. It's actually not here yet. I have to change this. We have one for data modeling where you don't see it. Where I have a data set, and this data set, I show you basically how to model this for a white column store, for a document store, key value stores, and many more for relational databases, for data warehouse with dimensional modeling. That's the start. That's the beginning stuff, and also now I didn't configure it here. The data modeling too, for relational data modeling. As I said, we have, of course, 111 minutes. If I didn't mess up the count, could also be 110 minutes for relational data modeling. Everything you need for this. So with hands-on examples, Eka is showing you how to design the data model, how to implement it in a MySQL database, and so on. That's how I would prepare. I would prepare on actually doing stuff, actually trying out stuff. Specific books, I don't know. Hey, George. Hi, good to see you. If you're into data governance, check out George on LinkedIn. He has a lot of stuff about data governance. Another George. Andreas had great. Oh no, that's also George. Has great courses. Yeah, thanks, George. You also have super cool stuff. So if you're into data governance, check out George's profile. Check out George's profile and his educational material that he has. Another Academy member, Kampala. I can't remember, according to you, what's your opinion about a fresher on a recent graduate or a recent graduate getting into data engineering career? Is this in this current situation? It's a super good good opportunity, and it's also a really, really safe job. It's very future proof. Once you're getting into it, you can grow in this job, and it's still is the right point to make that switch. There's a lot of movement, there's a lot of new stuff coming out, and the only thing, Kampala, as I said a few minutes ago, the important part is don't limit yourself just to data engineer roles. Do a bit of research. You could look at AWS developer, AWS architect, AWS, for instance, right? These kind of things, make it technology specific, make it platform specific, because a lot of data engineer jobs are still not named data engineer. They are still have different names. So there are really cool jobs where you can use the stuff that you've learned in the academy or learned on your data engineering journey, although they are not called data engineer. So take that. There are a lot of opportunities out there. Oh yeah, Eka said here, good, in the Discord, in LinkedIn, we have a Discord channel. You can also find the Discord if you scroll down here. No, that's the academy. I think on the main page, if you scroll down, yeah, you can. Oops, it guy's in the way. You can also check out, join the Discord server. We have a free area and we have a paid area for our academy members. And join there. We have over 1,000 people on the Discord server. And yeah, if you have any question, put it there. We're going to answer it. Maybe Eka is here. Maybe I'm here. Maybe someone else is there. If I'm not quick enough, and you will always get help. Yeah. Okay. I think that's it for today. So check out the GitHub for the roadmap. I'm also going to do a post on LinkedIn and on other social media, for instance, on Insta and so on. And yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Learn Data Engineering, and then see you next time. As I said, we're going to work on the cookbook. I'm working on improving the cookbook. It has already so much stuff, but it's, for my taste, it's getting too old. So yeah, let's talk tomorrow. I'm going to work tomorrow. Most likely tomorrow, I'm going to work either on the roadmap for the software developer, or I'm going to show you a bit more about the new data modeling course for relational data models. Okay. Have a great one. Thanks for being here. Nice questions. Thanks for all the questions. I hope this helped a bit. I'm going to go here. I'm going to on my Insta. I'm going to here. Where are you guys? Boop, boop, boop. Oh, that's dumb. Here, I'm going to make a image, and I am going to add a question here. Question. Ask me anything. Right. Done. And maybe Eka has this, or I'm going to. Do I have this here? Because we have a link tree, maybe that link tree will help you. There's no link. There's no Insta. Yeah. So I posted this on my Insta. Posted a question on Insta. if you have, or a field where you can add questions. If you feel like after this you have some info or you have some questions, put this in. Habib, all the info you see in the description of the LinkedIn post or LinkedIn video and in the YouTube. Okay, I'm going to work on this. Hima, I'm also going to work on the list of the job names. And then we're going to see each other tomorrow. I'm trying to do it the same time. Either my 4 p.m. or my 5 p.m. All right, I need to go.